The rise and fall of Saturday morning cartoons. Introduction. For decades, Saturday morning cartoons were a beloved ritual for children across the United States. From the 1960s to the early 2000s, networks aired animated shows exclusively on Saturday mornings, creating a unique television block that defined childhood for generations. However, by the 2010s, this tradition faded into history. This article explores how Saturday morning cartoons rose to prominence and the factors that led to their decline. The Golden Age, the rise of Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday morning cartoons first gained popularity in the 1960s when major networks recognized the potential of targeting children with animated programming. The early years, 1950s to 1960s. Networks like ABC, CBS, and NBC began airing animated programs specifically for children. Classic shows like The Flintstones, 1960, and The Jetsons, 1962, paved the way for the Saturday morning format. The boom of the 1970s and 1980s, the rise of studios like Hanna-Barbera and Filmation led to a surge in iconic cartoons, including Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, Super Friends, and The Smurfs. Networks capitalized on merchandising opportunities, with toy lines, cereal promotions, and comic book adaptations boosting popularity. The Federal Communications Commission allowed more kid-friendly advertising, increasing sponsorship opportunities. The 1990s, the peak of Saturday morning cartoons. Networks introduced a wave of fresh, high-quality content like X-Men, the animated series, Batman, the animated series, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Cable television introduced new competitors like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, but Saturday morning cartoons still thrived. The rise of Fox Kids and Kids WB brought in more animated hits like Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, and Pokemon. The decline. Why did Saturday morning cartoons disappear? By the early 2000s, several factors contributed to the decline of Saturday morning cartoons. 1. The rise of cable networks. Dedicated children's channels. Like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Disney Channel provided 24/7 access to animated programming, making Saturday morning blocks less special. 2. The advent of streaming services. Platforms like Netflix, Hulu, and later Disney Plus allowed children to watch their favorite shows on demand, eliminating the need to wait for Saturday mornings. 3. Changes in FCC regulations. The 1990s brought stricter regulations on advertising to children, limiting the profitability of Saturday morning cartoon blocks. The Children's Television Act, 1990, required networks to air educational content, reducing the number of traditional animated shows. 4. The decline of network television. As cable and internet streaming grew, broadcast networks saw a decline in viewership, leading them to shift focus away from Saturday morning animation. By 2014, major networks had ceased airing dedicated Saturday morning cartoon blocks, marking the official end of the era. Legacy and impact. Despite their decline, Saturday morning cartoons left a lasting legacy. They introduced generations of children to animation, fostering lifelong love for the medium. Many of the classic shows continue to thrive through reruns, streaming platforms, and reboots. The format influenced modern children programming and paved the way for animated storytelling in streaming services. Conclusion. The era of Saturday morning cartoons may have ended, but their impact on pop culture and animation remains significant. while streaming and on-demand content have replaced traditional